I have not hit the start button in a while because I don't remember the last time I hosted, but I'm going to try this hosting thing tonight. I'm going to talk really fast and go crazy. No, 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 no. You guys last week talked about making the old things useful again. So I'm going to enter my SCO. That's the standard Cookson output device into my brain, and I'm going to slow down and host like Roy would host. So we're going to slow things down and have a nice organized show. I don't know if you guys noticed, I posted in the channel earlier. I just copy pasted what he did and
Yeah,
replaced
that's
his name
awesome.
with mine. And we are going to start tonight by saying, hello, everybody. It is the 26th of March, 2026.
33012 in
3312 without the O.
Yo, yay. And I'm joined by two people here this week. It is Dr. Bloomingwind.
Hello.
And Lark Shade, Lark Shadow, Lark ADHD, Lark...
Squirrel. It's Lark Shade. I chose the wrong name when I was trying streaming, and now I'm trying to change everything back, and it's been a process.
Okay, we're just going to go with Lark. I like that you went from 3 syllables, Lark Shadow, to 2 syllables, Lark Shade, and I'm going to keep it Lark, and we'll just go that route.
Fair.
And we'll just go nice and easy like that. Well, let us go around the tricorn hat here, because there are only 3 of us, and we will go with a Bloomingwind first. What has been happening in your world, both in-game and, at home?
Well, let's start with in-game. So in-game, I've been doing a lot of power play. I've been working on reinforcing a system, and that's been kind of a lot of fun. There's a lot of trading loops, which, I mean, they're not in and of themselves the most exciting thing. But, I've been working really hard trying to find where I could do gold scrubbing, which is a method of boosting your merits through trade. And I've been doing some rares hauling, some bounty hunting, and those are the kind of the in-game highlights.
Well, hold on. Let me pump the brakes there real quick, because there's a lot of people out there who may be wanting to earn extra merits. And I know this might be how the sausage is made, and maybe we shouldn't be sharing things like this, but explain this scrubbing you're talking about.
All right. So the way it works is that the merits are proportional to the profit you make on a trade, on when you're selling commodities. So the obvious thing to do is to buy low, sell high. But the problem is that you can't always buy low because there's not a lot of supply low. So what you do is you find a system. Well, first thing is the system that you're trying to sell commodities to for merits has to be buying the product. So let's just use gold as an example. Okay, so your system has to be interested in buying gold at a reasonable price, at a reasonable demand, so that a ship full of gold will be sold at the price that you're. So you have to have like demand higher, like 3 times higher than your cargo hold at a minimum. So
and that's that you get full price when you
that's
sell.
you get full price. Yeah. So you've got that. Okay. So what you do is you then look for a system with a station in infrastructure failure, because when they're in infrastructure failure, precious metals are at low prices. And you need to find one that has in its market that you could buy, let's say, 1 ton of gold. Okay. We're just using gold as our example. So then you find a third station that's nearby, not under infrastructure failure, that sells gold. Okay. So you go to the first system and you buy gold at, let's say, 48,000 credits a ton. Then you go to the infrastructure failure system, sell all your gold for 4,500 instead of 45,000, And as soon as you sell all of it at a loss, you do not exit the commodities page, and you go from sell to buy. And so that 1 ton of gold they were selling should now be, let's just say, 1,301 gold. If you had a
because their
Panther Clipper
supply went up because you just sold to them.
correct, and it's the
Okay.
supply should be the same size as whatever they had before plus whatever you had in your hold. So you buy all your stuff back at a loss. Okay, you're buying it at 4,500 credits a ton. So you've lost at this point, 90% of your income. So then you haul your stuff all the way to the destination system and sell it. So you bought it for 4,500 and now you're selling it for 50,000. So that's a pretty massive profit. Now, you're either going to lose a little bit of money or you're going to make a little bit of money depending on the relative prices of the first system and the last system. And then you get some sort of Liang Rui trade dividend as well that you can cash in. So it kind of runs at about a wash, but you're just raking in, depending on the situation and the reinforcement penalties, et cetera, et cetera. You're raking in merits. So that is gold washing. But like I said, you just have to make sure whatever commodity you're buying and selling, it's available in the right places at the right systems.
So it takes a bit of work, a bit of finagling, and keeping track of stuff. And I mean, logically, you're just going with for it to work in your brain that it's not an exploit, you're going with the fact that, well, these idiots are in infrastructure failure because they're idiots. So when I show up and I sell this and then I rebuy it, that's their fault, not my fault.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not an exploit because infrastructure failure lasts, a couple of days at any given system. And you have to have sort of the harmonic convergence of somewhere to buy the product, somewhere to sell the product where you can buy it back, and then that product be a product you're delivering to the system you want it to. So there's a lot of work involved. And the amount of merits we're talking about was sort of at its peak. For my Panther Clipper, I'm earning 4,000 merits per trip, which is a decent amount. But I mean, when you have a rares boom of 600 Scintille relics, you're making that much, if not more. And if you have a trade ethos power that you're pledged to, there aren't always optimal markets for you. So your ability to acquire, your ability to undermine, your ability to reinforce are very market dependent. And if a system's a real lousy stinker system as far as its markets go, it makes it an unvaluable system. Now, we're very attached to screw space. We're attached to our BGS series of systems that we call home, and it largely overlaps with Liang Rui space. So Liang Rui has been a partner of convenience for us. I mean, from a lore standpoint,
unfortunately for Serious Gov.
Yeah, I know. But from a lore standpoint, I mean, my running joke is my character was his fraternity brother back in college, but kind of helps me to be attached to him. And if you know me, it kind of fits my mojo anyway. But their approach to things and our approach to things are a little bit different. I mean, we're kind of a little bit mayhem, a little bit of fun, and they're very intentional about everything they do. And they love, they're the masters of reinforcing. Like they're killing it with Kruger 5's ratings because Kruger 5 takes into account, the number of systems weighted by a control point proportional ratio. So the amount of control points it takes to become fortified, the amount of control points it takes to be a stronghold, he weighs each power by that. Basically his score system is how many control points roughly does each power gain. Nice's is a little bit similar to that. a little bit more arbitrary. And then, although Nicey, I'm sure is going to light me up for that. And then FDev's scoring system is just number of systems, which doesn't really rely. And so, really they're focused almost entirely on peaceful acquisition and reinforcement. And they're methodical and they're very intentional about what systems they want to acquire when they can. I mean, it's
boring.
I mean, it's boring to a certain kind of player.
Okay, fair.
But like as far as BGS, my approach to BGS for a very long time was
wait, can I cut in there just one sec?
Sure,
BGS. Background is one word, system is one word. Should it just be BS? I mean, isn't BGS just literally BS?
It is now.
Probably.
It is currently.
All right.
For sure. Hopefully the update in the fall is going to be a refresh of BGS, but we're not going to talk about that without Oblivious here. So no, but it's so I mean I've been in their in their Discord a lot lately, and so I'm watching kind of their approach versus our approach to BGS, to the power play, which is really stir the pot with neighbors that we're not always fond of. So mostly because
they deserve it sometimes.
Yeah, I mean they mess with our BGS.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with kind of our aspect, our BGS and our power play activities, so to speak, we're in here to have fun, and our Discord has a lot of people who do a lot of different things. So we don't necessarily pledge to any ethos per se. We're in here to have fun, and I don't know that it's always sunny, wild card bitches thing is kind of what we end up becoming because we're just out to have some fun doing this. And I probably have already, annoyed some people by getting into the gold washing thing and some stuff and talking about some things. But I mean, I'll agree, over in Serious Gov and, we've had people from Archer's gang over here, learning how some of these people think. They take this stuff very, very seriously and they stick to very specific rules. The problem is we are kind of in this like bubble of our own that we're locked into, and we're just trying to join the main bubble of Leon Rui. And other than him being your frat brother, most of us don't. It was a relationship, by geography. It was convenience. That's why we are Leon Rui. We don't necessarily care about the ethos, but it is what it is, and we're playing a game, and we've been having a lot of fun playing a game. Though we do get, I know that a lot of these guys' view of us has a lot of bridge of nose in view as they're looking down at us, over looking down at us.
And to be fair to all of them that we've dealt with, either presently or in the past, you can only jump out of the back of the van so many times before they stop letting you back in the van. So,
but sure. We own our own van, so we can do whatever we want.
We jump out of that one too.
Yeah, and they've been helpful with us a little bit behind the scenes, sort of in ways that whether or not they can disclose or not, but there was a big drop in control points in the system that we've been reinforcing to get us over the fortified threshold in that system, and it was a couple of guys over there that they just flew over and knocked a few rounds of rares or gold washing or whatever the heck they did. I don't know what the heck they did, but gold washing is not a secret. Gold washing is a very well-known method of approaching. In fact, a lot of the Discords have, these are the ones near our space that are working right now. And they'll change it every 2 or 3 days. And, I posted the ones we've been using when they've been live in Serious Gov's trade channel, so that, other commanders can know, hey, let's do that loop or not. So, they've appreciated any. Yeah.
And I get that, but I also get the fact that there's one power that, says they don't want to mess with other people's BGS that are now messing with our BGS because of what we did with power play stuff. So,
Yeah.
there's just, we've rubbed some people wrong. And
Yeah.
the thing is that, oh, well, it's a game. Let's have fun.
Yeah. But I mean, the reason why we messed with power play was because BGS was messed with to start with.
Yeah.
I mean,
BGS became BS.
Yeah, I mean, we were alerted that we were alerted to a control war triggered in Alexandrinus, and here we are.
Yeah, and we were like power conflict CZs, woo, and rode on in.
Oh, this was after that.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That was all above board. I mean, that was all, hey, they fixed power CZs while we were trying to acquire Alexandrinus, and our beloved Daxi went over to Archer and said, hey guys, can you guys put some control points over here so we can trigger some power CZs? If you trigger some power CZs, we'll all fly in open so we can PvP each other. And we had a great old time. And then after the great old time, there was a massive overnight surge in control points on a Wednesday night. We woke up to Archer in control of Alexandrinus. And at that time, undermining was so weak that you really couldn't do anything to undermine. I mean, it was like you had to have like 100 commanders putting 100 commanders worth of effort with the little levers that we had to pull at the time. And then we kind of gave up. And then a few months later, there were some updates and rebalancing in power play. And paired with that, we saw that a control war was triggered in Alexandrinus. We're like, what the heck? And so when we saw that, like we realized somebody was in there, reinforcing the system without any care for the consequences of the reinforcement. Like a lot of massacre missions, just, they love combat. So they're doing missions and missions and missions, hoping that the missions will accumulate control points, And so, but, of course it drops our influence and triggers a war. And, we won that war, but we weren't really happy about it. And
for the record, I was just in Alexandrinus, and every single faction except for us is currently in bust because that system is so nuked right now.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what's happened is this whole, storm undrung for Alexandrinus has resulted in a Calarum-like Calarum-tastrophe in that system, where every faction is in multiple negative states and have been vacillating from one negative state to another negative state.
Kalar apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Kalar apocalypse. And so, and then you'll hear in the BGS update, but, what's been going on there most recently, because that's pretty much the only area of major interest that we've been excited about. So.
Fun.
There we are.
Fun.
Yeah.
Now that I interrupted you in the middle of what you've been doing in game, now you can tell us about what you've been doing in real life. Oh, good God.
Yeah, real life. I had a very interesting Monday.
It's Thursday.
I know, but Monday was so scary that it's still living rent free in my head.
Yeah.
So, so I do this thing called transesophageal echo. It's a procedure where basically you put a ultrasound probe down someone's throat into their stomach and take pictures of their heart.
Yeah,
I've been doing this. I've been doing it for 22 years. This procedure, 2 years as a fellow and 20 years as an attending. And so, I was at a patient I was going to do the procedure for. And, as I'm, trying to place the probe, I met a little bit of resistance. So I was like, okay, crap, I'm meeting some resistance. I need to stop. There's something not right. Take the probe out. And there's, blood on the probe. And I'm like, holy crap. It's like,
well, that's not what you want.
No, it was like bloody mucus. So, I, at that point, because the patient was deeply sedated, I got the anesthesiologist to intubate him. We looked for a source of bleeding. We were concerned that it might be where when you swallow food, that the beginning of your esophagus is where the problem was, based on our just looking with the little thingy that you move their tongue out of the way to put the breathing tube down.
The thingy? Is that your technical term?
Yeah, it's a laryngoscope.
Okay.
Yeah, so I call it the thingy because, not everybody knows what a laryngoscope is.
Gotcha.
So the thingy that moves the tongue is that's what it does. So anyway, so we called GI to come down immediately, and then one of my friends who's a gastroenterologist came down with an endoscope, took a look. There was no GI bleeding, there was no injury to the esophagus, thank God, because that's really a bad situation. And then there was this little scrape right next to the guy's vocal cords. And there was like a little bruise behind it. So we called ENT, ear, nose, and throat guys to come take a double look at it. And they were like, oh, it's fine. It's just because he was on a blood thinner. He was, a little bit of blood was enough to turn, the mucus really red that came out with the thing. So we just postponed the procedure and, got him up to the intensive care unit and observed him. And, within like 3 hours, he was off the, they were able to take the breathing tube out, and he was great. He was great. But it was one of these moments where it was just like, oh my gosh, I might have really hurt this guy, but not, obviously not intentionally. And like I said, I've been doing this for 22 years. I wasn't pushing any harder. I wasn't doing anything any different than anything I ever do. But I was like, something's not right. So I stopped immediately. And it was like, oh my gosh. But the whole thing is, in those situations, you just gotta, get your friends to come take a look, help, decide together what's best for the patient as far as next steps and things like that. And I mean, it was a really well done, really collaborative moment between me and GI and ENT and anesthesia, working together. So, I mean, that was sort of really great. It was just a few moments of stark terror that, was like, wow. But that was Monday. So.
Okay, random question.
Yes.
I mean, GI, I get gastrointestinal, right? You're shortening something from a long bunch of syllables down to something. Ear, nose, and throat is 3 syllables. ENT is 3 syllables. Why go to the acronym? I'm just curious.
I don't know.
Like, I used to like watching medical shows and they go, GSW. It's like, well, gunshot wound is 3 syllables. GSW is adding an extra syllable. Well, it doesn't save time, may hide the fact that you're not letting random people hear there's a gunshot wound. That one makes sense. But ear, nose, and throat, I don't get why ENT is the go-to.
I think because most people have to add the and.
Ear, nose, and throat. Oh, okay.
So it's 4 syllables.
Good God.
No, I don't know.
I was going to go
with and Z.
And then, I mean, then the really snooty people, and maybe our British friends on Lave Radio can chime in when they hear this as well, is in the United States, some of the snooty people will say ORL for otorhinolaryngology, which is like fancy talk for ear, nose, and throat. So we had a guy, one of the attendings at Penn when I was a resident, we always call them ORL. And I was like, you mean ENT, right? And he just always gave me this look. But he was awesome. So he had a good sense of humor about it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm sure
right.
they
I'm just curious. Those are the shower thoughts that drive me crazy at times. So I just wondering if there's an actual reason. No, it just is what it is. It's in the lexicon.
Well, it's the same reason that people do it in like the IT world, Chig. It's we could say the name of those things, but it makes you sound smartier if you do it as an acronym.
I don't know, a bunch of syllables. Gastrointestinal sounds a lot better than GI. You sound smarter. Like one of my favorite ones is shut the fuck up. STFU. Or somebody who says out loud, AFK. You can just say away from keyboard or be right back. It's just.
I say BRB in real life all the time.
Why? But why? It saves if you're typing, you don't have to type out full words. BRB is 3 syllables, either B. So saying BRB in real life just really identifies you as an IT guy, I guess, or a video game nerd. But be right back. I don't know. STFU. That's all I got to say. All right, let's move on to Lark. What have you been doing in game and in real life? I
can follow all of that.
Oh, that went a while. Yeah. And that's saying something. Bloomingwind usually has a good long intro for us, and I really extended that. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I mean, I'm filler.
Filler. Bloomingwind is the bread in our meatball. Anyways, my life's actually been pretty boring other than we got a quote we like, and tonight we'll be paying to get our floors redone in the house. Because the floors that were left behind by the previous owner just suck. I hate them so much. But we're getting laminated vinyl planks put in, and I'm very excited about it.
What did you have in there before?
What we have in here right now is badly installed stick-on vinyl / linoleum that they got to put down on the subfloor directly after they removed the carpet and figured out how much replacing floors are.
Oh, that's
Gotcha.
awful. That's a war crime.
But it's going to look all nice when it's done. So
Yeah, vinyl
whatever.
laminate's
Yeah.
super nice.
It's also worth the money for my knees to not have to do it.
Yeah, no, for
it's
sure.
a pretty easy job. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I'm
if
not
you
saying
got
it's
somebody to
not.
do it for you, especially to get the subflooring right and everything else, because I'm sure they're going to have to do that. So yeah, if you got a quote you're happy with, it stays under your budget, that's the way to go.
Yeah, it's a little bit over what I wanted to spend, but under what my wife wanted to spend. So the compromise is we're doing that.
Outstanding. What about in-game? Have you been in-game at all?
This is the first time I've been in game all week, just because life has been so busy with people measuring crap and picking out planks that are and aren't real wood and all that bull crap. And I'm just oblivious. Said do whatever we want today, except for me, who has to weed the carrots. So I have renamed my Corsair to the Carrot Carnival, painted it orange, and I'm now running around causing trouble.
Yes.
All right. Outstanding. I'm in game here. I'm just flying around a random system, hoping to be pulled. I feel bad. We've got guys, with all the stuff we've got going on with power play and BGS and stuff. I've been able to get on maybe a half an hour a night, and because I'm damn near falling asleep by the time I get around to it. So I'll hop in and I'll do like a CG or a power CG, or I'll just be like flying around system, hoping somebody pulls me. And then nobody's around. So I'm just in Super Cruise, and I'll start playing a game of chess on my other monitor. And then somebody pulls me. And it's like, God damn it, I can't fight now. So then I just, hop out and I run away because I've already committed to another fight on a chessboard. So what's his name? Tykes, whatever his name is. He's pulled me
He's been around, dude.
a few times. Exactly. That guy hops in and pulls me, and then there's another guy. A few of these archer guys are around, and they always manage to catch me just at the wrong time, and I feel bad because then I'm running away and then I'm logging out, and I feel if I'm in open, I'm here to fight, but if nobody's around to fight for a while, I get distracted by something else, and then I'm in no position to fight, or I'm out of ammo. I've had that where I can't think of the guy's name. He's been in our Discord a few times, and he'll show up and he'll pull me like after I've been in a CZ for a while and I'm out of heat sinks and I'm not out of ammo on my current ship, but he's pulled me when my railgun ammo had like 3 shots left. It's like, well, now you show up, thanks, and then I run away. But
I've had a couple encounters with Tyke myself. One of them was versus my Panther Clipper, which I was coming back from a CZ with, so it's already set up for combat. And he was in a Kestrel. He ended up getting me, but that was a very, very long fight, and it was a good fight. So it's like GG's.
Yeah, I like these archer guys because they play in open, and we have good skirmishes. I'm just hoping that over the next few weeks I get where I can put in a couple hours in evening so I can actually brawl with these guys a little bit and have some fun, because it has been entertaining. And that, if you didn't guess, I haven't had a lot of time to play in-game. Let's talk real life. I've just been so busy with the new job and everything else going on that I just trying to find time. So I've been living vicariously through other guys in the squadron. I appreciate all of you guys putting in the amount of effort you guys do, because I get to watch, learn, and enjoy.
Huge shout out to the squad guys this week. They have been putting in the freaking work, and I am just amazed.
Yeah. Good job. So, all right, what are we going on to next? Let's do squad. None of us have a soundboard or anything, do we? So
no, but I can do it.
All right. All right,
Yeah.
squad update. Oh yeah, do some sound.
Squadron update.
Can
I
tracks
don't know what
record
that
that?
wasn't in. All right, yeah, I'm sure he can clip
Someone
that
timestamp it.
if he listens to the show. All right, what do we got with the squad, Bloom?
All right, so BGS highlights. So the loose screws are now in 406 star systems from 403. So some people are
good
doing
crap.
trailblazers on our behalf. We also expanded out of NLTT 2969 to somewhere, and we are expanding out of 6 Andromeda. So, but we, for the first time in a very long time, have lost control of a system. We lost the war for control of Alexandrinus to Alexandrinus Mission. That system's a hot mess that, eventually the dust's going to settle and we'll just be able to restore our rightful place on top of that food chain. So I'm not terribly worried about it. And let's see what else. We have a pirate attack in Alexandrinus. So if you like bounty hunting, that's a great place to go. There's a lockdown in the Cephei sector. I'm not going to tell you which one. You can go to an AR and figure it out. And then there's civil unrest in V518 Carinae and call 285 sector, bunch of numbers and letters. Again,
How close are all of those to the mess in Alex?
not terribly.
Okay, fair. I was
Call
just
sector
curious.
one is. Yeah, the call sector one is. There's a conflict in BD plus 67 1409, which is one of our old systems that we used to control and ultimately surrendered over to our friends After Dark Initiative as part of the Great Peace Accords with them. But LeGuin Terminal is in jeopardy. And as somebody who wrote his junior term paper on A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula Le Guin, I really don't want to lose that station. So anyway, those are the BGS highlights. So if you want to go do some complex zones, go do some complex zones in BD 67. Other than that, today was declared by Oblivious a public holiday of do whatever the hell you want in game because we're all just taking our deep breath from the last cycle.
And to be clear, if you're helping us with anything, that's really on a daily basis. Do whatever the hell you want. But if you want, direction, we have that too. We've got things going on, and always looking for more help with everything BGS and power play. Don't be afraid to hop in and ask because we can definitely use the additional hours of gameplay that we don't have to help us with the things we want done.
Yeah.
Is that a good way of putting that?
Yes. And we haven't been posting standing orders just because things that we're doing are either in flux or we don't always want to talk about. But if you are somebody who wants direction and you're in our Discord, just go to one of our channels, the Loose Screws channel or the Power Play channel, and ask, and we will point you in a direction that you would find fun.
Yes. All right. That is BGS. Now let's move on to power play. Lark, do you want to talk about average size things and then proceed with explaining what's happening with power play?
It's average sized. It's all you're going to get out of me because the power play stinger is really long, and I don't want to do that.
Perfect.
Alrighty. So it is cycle 73. And I'm scrolling down. And cycle 73, the relics hangover has kicked in, and you can't always hang on to newly acquired systems that you're getting over and over and over with the relics, as some powers are learning. But that said, it was a good week for Antal, Mahon, Kaine, and Grom, all of whom are... Wait, what does this sentence even...
They're all close in points for the top four. So they're all in the top four, but they're close in points to each other. They all had similar levels of positive weeks. They were equally weaky.
Sorry, my brain was not parsing that for some reason. So they all had really good weeks. Antal has taken the most points in the K5 board and took place 6 from Archer.
Yay!
So you're welcome, folks in Antal, because I know we've been keeping him busy. I'm also trying to land at the same time as talking, so I apologize if I sound distracted. Get on the pad. Freaking piece of... Okay, there we go.
Wait. Landing takes concentration? What?
Anyways, carrying on.
Curious.
Kaine, shut up. Kaine had the most systems this week, with 9 overall and 1 new stronghold. It was a negative week for Archer, and this surprises me, Torval and Aisling, with Aisling losing 7 systems, but it's a drop in the bucket of the 116 they added in the last 2. Okay, I didn't get to that part. So never mind, Aisling's still doing Aisling things. And that is your short PP report.
It's average. Keep it straight or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now next, I guess, honestly, dev news. Is there any dev news?
There is not this
Lloyd.
week.
No.
Nothing. When's operations coming out?
Soon, TM.
Probably after they
Right.
get back from the moon.
All right. Well, then, Bloom, is there Galnet news?
Yes, there is Galnet news. 2 items. The first is that there was a community goal that was announced. Exploration data was requested at a new deep space station, Rainbow's End, all the way on the other side of the damn galaxy.
It is way the frick out there.
Way the frick out there. And it's ending tomorrow. They had 2,600 contributors because it was really built for the Distant Worlds 3 community. And there's about 2,600 of our commanders that are participating. Now, keep in mind, compared to the recent Kestrel, test drive community goal, that one had 13,000 participants, all wanting to get their core dynamic sticker, and 75% of them getting a opportunity for a second C-rated, double-engineered kill warrant scanner. So yeah,
And
fewer
how many
people
are doing this one?
2,600. So about 1/5.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
And when we say way out, we mean it. It's not only out in the middle of nowhere on the northeastern side of the galaxy, but it's also towards the bottom of the galactic plane. I don't even think there's another star system near it that's closer than 30 light years, probably. It is really far out there.
Yeah, it's almost 50,000 light years away, if I remember,
40 something thousand light years away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's Rainbow's End is the name of the station.
Which they stole from me. That was the name of my Python.
Yeah.
So my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Checks
All
out.
right. And in other news, the Caspian Explorer is under full production. Nonetheless, I've still not purchased one. So
why?
I don't know what to do with one. What am I going to do with it? Tell me what I should do with it.
I bought mine today.
End. Oh, you did?
I actually today I worked half a day. I just called it quits early today and just took the afternoon off. And I'm like, I'm going to go get a Caspian. So I flew to Shinrarta. Okay. Rainbow's End is 48,500 light years from Ross 310. So you figure that out from there. So it's out there a ways. But all right, so I bought a Caspian. Interesting experience buying the Caspian because I bought it and then I usually will just kind of A-rate everything, just and then get that engineered so my cores are all good because I've got optionals coming out of my ass, that I can equip a ship however I want. Well, I'm at Shinrarta and I'm like, well, do I A-rate or do I D-rate? This is just a ship that jumps really far and I should be setting it up for exploration. So I ended up just buying 2 of them because I D-rated all the cores on one and then I A-rated all the cores on another. So one I can play for, running rares. This thing is like the perfect rare runner because of its ability to jump so far, with neutron and white dwarf boosts. But then you can also, throw weapons and armor on it and everything else so you can fight. But if you actually want to go to Colonia super fast or head out to Beagle Point or something, you're going to lighten this thing up and use that insane boosted speed. So I did all the cores D-rated and, just kind of went to both. And I realized The one that I'm jumping farther, just D rating isn't always the best. Sometimes you're gonna undersize something and D rate it, or even undersize it 2 slots and A rate it. There's all these um, minutia, just details, and to really min max, it's not as simple as just A rate or D rate. But I figured just have a couple holes set up to be maybe not absolutely min maxed, but ready to min max however I want. So I did that, flew to the engineers with both of them to get the experimentals. And I'm once again putting the plea out there. Let us, like, on our squadron carrier, let's make this thing useful. Let us spend like 100 million a week or something and put like an experimental vendor on our squadron
Right.
carriers. I mean,
Yeah.
we can pool our money and just do all that in one place, because literally this was the easiest ship ever to do that with because of the extra jump range, but still, it is so tedious jumping all over the place, put those experimentals on. So
He
please,
can
I
be
beg of
named
you.
Crazy Nick, and sometimes the experimentals work and sometimes they don't.
Well, there you go. Hey, that would be interesting. I like that. Oh, and speaking of it, no, well, I'll cover. I had another thing I was going to talk about. When we get to discussion topic, I'll jump into
Sorry.
that. But that's the Caspian. It was a weird experience trying to decide how to just kind of get the hull ready, because it can do so many things. It's the Explorer. Nah, it's a good multi-crew thing. Early review on flying it, I'll say this: it really does feel like you're flying a Star Trek ship.
It really does.
It feels big. The fact that it is like a saucer that you're flying, and you're flying through the reminds which Star Trek is that, where that Star Trek was rebuilt? Is that Star Trek 3?
Oh, frick.
It was after Khan, right? When this Enterprise
that
is
was
blown up.
Search for Spock.
So Search for
at
Spock.
At the end of Star Trek 4, because they destroyed Star Trek. They destroyed the ship. They destroyed the ship in Star Trek 3, and that was against.
Okay.
That was against Dr. Brown, Christopher Lloyd.
There we go.
Christopher Lloyd Klingon.
Yep.
And then they did the whole switcheroo with the transporters, and they got the Klingon bird of prey.
Yep.
So anyway, so they took that to Vulcan to try to get Spock his memory back, and then after they got his memory back, there was this whole cataclysm affecting the Earth, because
that was the Save the Whales one.
That was the Save the Whales, and I freaking love that movie.
It's not bad. I like it too.
Nuclear vessels.
Yep.
Nuclear vessels. So anyway, so after they do the time travel thing, get the whales and save the world, they're given the Enterprise A, the NCC 7, and they did the big reveal, and it was just like, yay.
Yeah, and when they were flying it out of Starport, that's what flying the Caspian feels like to me. That scene in Star Trek, I can almost hear the music as it's happening. So it seems to handle really well. I haven't done any combat with it, but just flying it feels like flying a large ship, and not like the cutter inability to slow down, or the clippers just, am I going to fit through the slot? Just more, it just feels big. I don't know how to explain it.
It feels like a more responsive T10 to me, honestly.
You say that about every ship.
Well, every ship is a more responsive T10.
That's very true. He's
not
speaking
wrong.
Truth. Yeah, you're not lying. Yeah, very true. I'm going to go with that. Yes.
I hate you both.
That's like every other ship is a less responsive Kestrel. So that's what we go with. We got that. We have the two ends of the spectrum that we can describe every ship by. So perfect. Yeah, no, I enjoy it. I'm going to build a combat version, and I'm going to make a version just to see how fast I can get to, I don't know, I'll probably fly the SAG-A just for shits and giggles, just to see how fast I can get there. But yeah, no, good ship.
Maybe I'll buy one.
It is a good ship. I'm running the heavy armor on mine, and I still think it jumps either at or close to 50. I'd have to get in it to check.
Well, what are you running the heavy armor for? Are you doing combat with it, or?
Yeah, I have been.
Okay. Well, then that makes sense. What does jump range matter if you're using it for combat?
Yeah, well, it doesn't, but that's the point, is that it's set up for combat and it still gets a 55 light year jump range. So
Well,
it's kind
with
of
that ship,
ridiculous.
you don't really look at that jump range. You look at what it is, neutron boost or white dwarf, because
Yeah, I
that's where
suppose
it
that's true.
really shines. And I haven't
I,
tried landing on a planet with it yet. I want to try these thrusters that you can
I'm
come in
not
at that
gonna
steep
lie,
angle.
dude. The very high angle reentry is A, faster, and B, so freaky when you're flying at the ground that fast, basically straight down.
Okay, I'm looking
I
forward
love
to
it.
giving that a
Would
try.
recommend.
Okay, that's awesome. All right. Well, discussion topic. I didn't really come up with anything new because I'm running the SCO, the Crookston output module here. I'm just stealing what you guys talked about last week. I just wanted to cover, give you a couple of my thoughts on this stuff and see if you guys had anything else. Like when you guys first started talking, well, first off, the topic was, how do we make the old ships stay relevant? That was basically it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the thrust of it.
Yeah, and
And it's off of that, should we as well?
well, my thing is the whole topic, especially started talking, you started going first, Lark, and then you're talking about, keeping it within, at, at least 80% as good as, to me, the old ships are still in that range. I mean, I think you're talking
Fair.
10% difference, really. Then if you get into pilot skill and engineering and everything else, the old ships are still, in my opinion, viable. And the biggest thing that you guys kept mentioning was, SCO. And, I've heard discussion of adding a module or something. This is my solution to this SCO issue. A new experimental that you can put on your FSD that makes SCO, 90% more stable. So if you're
Ooh, I
already
like
in an
that.
SCO enabled ship, it becomes a little more stable because it's already 90% more stable than another ship. But any of the old ships become, that much more stable, but you're not going to get the extra jump range of Mass Manager. So you're still giving up a little bit. I know Blooming, when you talked about that, having some give and take with this stuff. And to me, that would be the easiest solution. You don't have to give up a module space. You don't have to do anything. You just add this experimental. And if you give up a little bit of jump range, because what you need is that SCO, let's say you're running cargo, so you don't need the jump range as much. You just want to get to the stations faster. Or if you're doing an exploration ship, jump range, the SCO would be nice to get those far away stars. But it's a choice you'd have to make. Do you want to super cruise faster, or do you want to jump farther? And if you want both, use one of the new ships. And it's not going to be, night or day. It's going to be, really within the margins that most people would be comfortable with.
I like it. I like that
Yeah,
a lot, actually.
I think it's very reasonable.
You're supposed to say, no, I think a module would be better.
No, because I mean, I keep coming back to my Corvette, probably because that's the ship I'm using the most. It's a old ship. And, for me, I don't really care about its jump range. I mean, if I lose 5 light years or 3 light years off my jump range because I don't have Mass Manager, I really don't care. But, if I'm doing assassination missions and I got to have an assassination mission about 125,000 light seconds from the main star, it would be nice if I'm not, having to kind of tap the SCO because my ship's overheating every time I have the SCO run for more than 15 seconds at a spot. So, I would give up that jump range in a nanosecond. I think an experimental would be very cool.
Now sell it for arcs.
I mean, it depends on how many arcs. It's I've had this whole discussion with Roy that, I mean, I don't know the books, I don't know the numbers, I don't know what people are paying, but I do think some of the items are in the ARC stores are overpriced. So I'm a little bit
100%.
so I'm a little bit more selective about what I'm buying, and it's basically I buy maybe 1 or 2 skins per ship. Like I would say probably 1.5 skins per ship that I build. So, and
Yeah, the
so I'm not
pricing structure is odd.
Yeah. And I mean, there were times where I was like kind of drunken sailoring with, when I had some arcs because like it was like, oh, this isn't that expensive or whatever. But it's like, I'm picking and choosing based on that. And then, when I buy my Kestrel, I already unlocked the Kestrel, but when I actually buy a ship to build, or when I start building my Kestrel, I'm going to buy the that one ship kit pack that has the skins and it has like this kind of a Barbie Dazzle ship skin. I forget which one it is. And then it also has some ship kit parts. And I was like, that's the one I'm getting because it's just absolutely hilarious. It's kind of like a Dazzle ship. So
that's what's fun with the paint jobs. Everybody's got a different taste for what they like. Some people like the bright pink stuff. Other people like the midnight black. And then there's midnight black, flat or matte or gloss now. And, I do appreciate that they're doing that, but I find it so weird, the pricing on a lot of this stuff. Like I was looking at the Caspian paint jobs, for instance, and like the midnight black, gloss, and matte, those were like 7,500 arcs or something.
Yeah.
Every other paint job was like 12,000 or some other crazy number. And I'm like,
crap.
This is just weird to me. Why are these priced different? Especially when like forever the midnight black paint jobs are the ones that they only sold like, a couple weeks every year and everybody wanted. Now they're like the cheapest paint job you can get for the Caspian. I was confused.
Are you sure?
Well, let me see. Oh, I'm not in the
here's how I
station
think
now.
they
I thought it
priced
was.
them
I thought
out.
they were like 7,500 as opposed to like 5,000. Yeah, no, they're
No.
4,500 for the other skins. Oh, those were ship kits and things that were 12,000, and the hollow kits were like 12,000.
No, I was looking at this earlier today, and I was like, "What is happening?" Because I was gonna just get a different paint job, so I just didn't have the standard paint job. So I was in paint jobs when I was looking at it.
Oh, okay, so there are ones that are for sale that are full priced.
Yes, and this was in a station. I wasn't in the Frontier store. So
Maybe it didn't update yet before the sale.
Yeah, is there a sale going on right now?
Yeah, there is a sale going on right now. We were going to talk about that in community notes.
Oh, okay, never mind.
We're completely like off the schedule. So
Yeah, it's okay. No,
See,
this is why I think they priced
Oh.
everything out. One of the people working there got on their computer, they opened up Chat GPT and said how to price for game.
Is that how that works?
Probably. Makes about as much sense. I'm just saying.
All right. I really want to like go off on like what Trax was saying just to disagree with him and make him angry for not being here, but I don't even remember what he said. What did he say about all this ship balancing stuff? I don't remember.
I'm probably remembering wrong, but I think he came down on the side of it's okay for other old ships to go obsolete.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of the thrust of it was, why do certain, and it also was why put FDev's coders to the task of, stabilizing some low market things when maybe they would put those guys to good use doing more fun things. Because how many of us are driving a 75 Pinto right now? Not too many.
That's true.
But there's always that
burn unit.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
The big Oldsmobile land yacht.
Yeah.
Like the one from the 70s that when you turned, it felt like it was going to roll, even though you're close to the ground.
Yeah.
I love old cars. I actually bought an old car just right after. We totaled 2 cars over the course of a week in my household. So,
Oof, how did that happen?
Let's just say it was a rough couple. Like I said, life has been interesting.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So yeah, I mean, it was nice. We came out. We weren't upside down in either one, financing wise or anything. So we actually made a little bit of money. But all of a sudden, a couple car payments going away was nice. But then trying to find some cars to buy real quick, and I tend to do kind of what I want at times, and stumbled across an older car that I'm like, I want it. I'm buying it. So I bought.
What
I
kind?
bought.
I have to
my
know.
wife. My wife's not incredibly happy about this. I bought a 1992 Cadillac Eldorado.
Oh, hell yes.
I'm so jealous.
It is the coolest fucking car I've ever seen. Candy
Is it
red.
convertible?
No, it's not. I'm in Minnesota. Come on.
That convertible in Minnesota. Yeah, he's frozen too.
Yeah.
He's one of the cold
But-
ones from Game of
I know.
Thrones.
Yeah.
It was in amazing shape. Had 90,000 miles on a 1992, one owner.
Oh, frick. That is not bad at all.
Single owner, 90,000 miles. Great shape. Runs like a dream. I saw it. I'm like, I got to take it for a test drive. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to make him an offer. And I offered him, lowballed him. Didn't think he'd actually take it. And he looked at the numbers. He goes, is that out the door? I said, no, I'll pay the tax and license. He goes, I can do that. Like, all right, I own an Eldorado. What the fuck? So yeah. So that was my week this week. So now I've got that in my household, and my daughter's in love with it, which is awesome because I'm like, man, if you were still in high school, everybody would be like your friend because this car is just so fucking different from everything else around. So
And everyone could fit in it.
exactly, you can pile everybody into that back seat. So it's super cool. So that was completely off topic. Old cars becoming obsolete. See, I don't believe anything's obsolete. You make do. You can make it work, and that's where I'm at. And I don't think they should have to fight to try to keep things relevant to the new ships. I mean, honestly, if you want the best of the best, fly a new ship, but you can still be competitive. You're better. I mean, you run into somebody who really knows how to fly an FDL. That's, a last generation ship. It will still tangle with any of the new ships.
Oh, it's got a huge hard point. It'll ruin your day real quick if you let it.
So, a good pilot is going to, this game, you're learning skills in this game, and especially now that the Kestrel's out, that this ship may be the best example of
That's
taking an old ship to compete with this ship. This ship can compete with old school, medium, and large ships. But you put either of those ships in a really skilled pilot's hands, and a medium and a large will still hold its own against a Kestrel. Kestrel isn't like a win now button, and it's only going to be win more if you know how to fly it, because it's not an easy ship to fly. It's taken me quite a while here to not just be a jerky freak with this thing. But I am enjoying it. But honestly, old ships, fly them, have fun. There's no reason not to. Like, was that you last week, Blooming? You were talking about you're keeping your Mark II for AX combat, right?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I have my AX, I have that, and then I have a couple of Titan bombers in the event that a Titan ever comes back.
It does what they can do, but at the end of the day, any of the new ships, you could build one that would do that better than those ships. So there is that side of it. And if you're doing PvE, how hard do you want things to be for yourself? You decide. If it's PvP, you're going to want the new ships. Yes, you can compete, but if you're fighting somebody, let's say you're in a Mark II and you're fighting somebody in a Python 2 or
Corsair,
one of the new ships, and you're losing, they're probably flying the better hardware and they're a better pilot. So then you're going to have to get the same ship and hope that you're as good, but then you end up with some rock, paper, scissors with shields and weapons and everything else. So at the end of the day, until you're at that real cutting edge of all this stuff, it doesn't matter. Fly what's fun, fly what you think looks cool, and go that route. Don't worry about what's best.
And that Cobra 5 is a great PvE or PvP ship too. I mean,
PvE, PvP. Cobra 5 still the best ship in the game. The Kestrel I haven't gotten out of since it's come out, but Cobra 5 is the best ship.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one where I was most successful in that Minerva community goal that was all PvP all the time. I mean, I
Yeah.
had an absolute utter blast in that. And because it was really the first time I did PvP in true earnest. There was that one night we went to Shinwarda together and we were just, fucking with those guys. Yep, I had to make this PG-13, kids. And but yeah, but no, but the night in Shinwarda was an absolute blast, but I was just completely unprepared. It was like, hey, let's do this. And I was like, okay, this is the chip that I think I can, and I used a, what is it, a courier? I was just a courier I was just messing around in, and because we were just trying to be gnats. But I took my Corsair to Minerva, and those plasmas are just too slow. Everyone's dodging them, and I was like, okay, I need a different ship. And I couldn't quite get the timing of the rails right, so I just said I'll put the rails on my Cobra Mark V and try to just get good. And so, that's what I did. And I just had the speed to chase the people who were running away. And I had, the ability to kind of just long range snipe. So it was kind of a best of both worlds kind of ship for me. I had a blast with it. So
Yeah, Cobra
I know I'm
5 is the ship I feel invincible in. That's where like the one guy from Archer who hopped into our Discord and stuff, he posted a video fighting us, and you could see him chasing me at one point with 3 of his wingmates and me without my weapons deployed, just flying around. Because with the Cobra 5, I just literally feel invincible. It's not quite enough firepower to take on 4 large ships and hope to have any chance of winning.
It's such a troll ship, though, because it's so fast.
It's so fast. It's so safe. But the Gestrel's even more of that. But the armor you can get on that Cobra 5 is just absolutely asinine how tough you can make that ship. They drop their shield and they think they're going to kill you. And it's like, nah, I got like 3,000 armor on this tiny little thing. It's insane. So
yeah, it's a Cobra frame with a Viper Mark IV soul. It's got the toughness and the speed.
Yeah, and more firepower. Yeah, don't compare it to a Viper. That's just, you're drunk.
I love my Vipers. Shut up.
I know you do.
Yeah, Lark's not drunk.
No,
I never
he doesn't drink. I know.
Yeah.
That might be your problem.
Am I distracted? Yes. Drunk? No.
All right. Gotcha. But yeah, so yeah, no, that's where the Cobra 5 was for me, is it's my fun ship. I mean, I'm gonna say right now, and this isn't cocky, if I die, it should almost be considered suicide, because I know early on if who I'm fighting is going to kill me. So if I stick around and I get killed, it's because I chose to get killed, if that makes sense. Now, obviously, you run into a wing sometimes of, get 3 frag Corsairs drop in on your large cargo hauler. You might not be able to high wake in time. There is that possibility. But most of the time, if I'm going to get killed, it's because I chose to stay and let somebody kill me. But that doesn't mean I can kill anybody I want, because landing the shots to do it and avoiding fire at the same time is a whole different animal. So that's this game, and I love it.
Breaking news from Chig. He reports, if I died, it's because I died.
Yes, exactly.
Valid choice.
So, anything else to cover tonight? What do we got here? Community corner. Was there anything in community corner?
Yeah, community corner. Yeah, there was this Caspian paint sale that we talked about, so we don't need to talk about that. There was a video. They mentioned it on Lave Radio. Love you, Lave Radio friends. But the idea was that this guy made a video, Midnight Black, and he calls it the 7 levels of elite dangerous players, and most get stuck at 3. And it's just sort of the evolution of gameplay for the typical commander. And I'll just run through them.
We have to do it for ourselves. Let's do this.
Yeah, we have to do this for ourselves. I'll run through them very quickly, and then we'll kind of talk about them. So, chapter 1 is basically, if you spent more time watching Elite Dangerous than flying it, you're probably here. Every commander starts out as an observer. He's talking about the people doing the tutorials, watching the videos, learning the game, trying to decide if you actually want to commit to playing the game.
Right.
And that stage for me was, I heard about the game, and I was like a huge Elite fan back in the 80s. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I bought the game, on my Xbox, and this is like on the eve of the pandemic. So it was like, I mean, I'm the only person going to work. Everyone else is locked in their homes in my neighborhood and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, after everybody goes to bed, I was like ready to decompress. And so I just started doing the tutorials and those things at that time. And then, level 2 is the button master stage. You're finally flying, but you're mostly reacting. So you're like, oh my gosh, something interdicted me. Oh crap, what do I do? And it's like, oh, this thing happened, and that thing happened, and but at least where all the buttons are on your keypad. I guess for me, I was still in the nubula at that point. Level 3 is your entire sense of progress is tied to your credit balance, and this is that stage where, like, I'm very conservative with money, so what I was like doing is like, okay, do I have, at least double the cost of the ship that I'm going to buy next, or even 3 times the amount, and then I would buy that ship. So I was like, okay, I'm going to use this ship to earn this much credit to do the next thing, and that was my progression from, from the Sidewinder to the Cobra Mark III, where I began the engineering grind, and then I got the Asp X because I wanted to build my Explorer ship ultimately with it, but I was using it as a miner to build credits, and then I switched to the Panther and then the T10, and that was like that was my credit grind part of the game. Then level 4 was if you revealed the same ship 3 times in a week because you learned one new thing. We've all been there. That sort of thinking about ship design. And thinking about ship purpose. And once we began to get
Trax lives.
Yes, this is where Trax live. Well, Trax is actually like level 8, but that's separate.
Well, yeah, but this is where he lives. He's like,
yeah. This is his love language. So, ship design and shipbuilding is his love language. And this was the stage where my ships began to get that individuation. So that was when my Python Classic became a rescue ship for passengers. Yeah, that was when my T10 became the miner. That was when my Aspects became the explorer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then level 5 is when you can explain exactly why you want to fight, but not just that you did. You're probably here. By the time players reach this special point, they're really good at something. This is when you're kind of saying, I'm a combat guy, I'm an explorer, or I'm whatever, a miner in my case. I love mining and I'm good at mining. It's not very hard. But
random missions in my case. How about you, Jake?
I don't even know how to answer that.
Jake's good at everything. So level 6, if you disengage from a bad fight early with 0 ego, this is sort of they call you the veteran at this point. You stop trying to chase after mastery, and you're just focused on activities and doing your thing. And if you have to bail, you have to bail, et cetera, et cetera. And then level 7 is the point in the game where I think most of us are to some degree or another. You have no plan. You have no thing. This is what I'm doing today. And you just go on and you're like, well, what do I want to do now? And you just do your thing. And you're like, that was a fun night doing that. But I think this whole thing leaves out level 8. And level 8 ultimately is, and this is going to be totally corny, but I am, flying with your space buddies. I mean, the most fun I've had in this game has been doing stuff with my squadron. Whatever that is, our power play stuff of late, we were spending some months out in New Screw Space doing Trailblazer stuff, me and Volt and some other folks. That was an absolute good time. Looking forward to when I can get back out there after.
That was a good time.
Yeah. I want to get back out there because I have some projects that need to get finished. But this is, I think that's ultimately. So why don't we go through the levels for you guys too? So I was kind of like monologuing.
You also missed one more level.
Which one?
Level 9. You're on a podcast about the game.
Oh, that's true.
There's that.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Level 7 is basically where I live. Like, I try and look for things to do. That'll be like help the squad with whatever we're doing and stuff. But sometimes I just want to log in and fly, see what kind of trouble I can get into, maybe go check out a star system I haven't been to yet, even if it's just in the bubble, stuff like that. It's just still fun, and who cares? That's where I'm at.
Shocked, I'm telling you, shocked.
How about you, Chig?
What haven't I done in this game? I mean, really, I am definitely the do whatever strikes my fancy kind of guy. You know, go fly around Shagrada hoping to get pulled, fly around Desiat, go mining for shits and giggles, go jump out 5,000 light years just to discover a new Earth-like world for shit. I
Didn't you
do
and
whatever the hell I
Dubs
want.
like fly all the way around the east end of the galaxy and back to screw space for kicks and giggles once?
I've circumnavigated the entire galaxy. Yes, I've visited every sector of the galaxy. Yes,
Awesome.
Exploring, I've done that. Mining, I've done every bit of mining. I mean, honestly, I'm elite CQC. What does that say? I try to do a little bit of
It
everything.
says you're a masochist to me, honestly, buddy.
A little bit.
It says you're secretly musketeer and an alt, is what it's saying.
No,
I never
no.
put that together.
Here's the problem: is I'm just a mediocre pilot that just flies a lot. So I do what I do, and I have fun with it, and I understand the game. And I'm that point where I realize that there are no definitive answers on how to do anything the best way in this game. Every single answer I give will be, well, that depends on this, or, well, actually, you need to do that, because there's going to be one little thing that you could improve on no matter what you're doing, and that's this game. Some people instantly give an answer to this, or like some explore jump range is the end all be all. That's just dumb.
Crazy talk.
Certain weapons, you have to go these weapons, or you have to go this ship, or you have to everything. The answer on everything in this game is, well, it depends. What are you doing? Like something as simple as shields. You talk about shields on ships. It depends on what you're doing, depends on what ship you have, depends on the distributor, depends on, are you going to have shield banks or not? Are you going to be in a long fight, a short fight? There's so many questions to answer. When somebody just asks the question, what should I do with shields in this game? In order for me to help them, I have to ask them 20 questions, so then I can give them the best answer. So a lot of times in outfitting channel, I don't really give a lot of advice because I don't feel like asking 20 questions, if that makes sense. Trax is really good at just going, well, you can do this, 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 and this. And then somebody else say, well, I was just hunting pirates or something, then it's like, oh, well, in that case, forget everything I said and do this instead, because it's going to be a different answer. So that's the point I'm at this game. And I gave that whole speech like 6 months ago where I hate the fact that I'm the well actually guy these days.
You didn't set out to become it, but you did anyways.
Yes.
Well, you are in the nicest way, though. I mean, the actually guy is usually kind of a jerk about stuff. I mean, in all honesty, you're like a mentor, I
try.
And you just kind of have and you have like the technical knowledge, like that of all of this stuff that you're just very, very knowledgeable. Like you're the expert.
I try not to be a dick, but if you ask my wife, I'm condescending. So it is what it is. And she's always right, in case she's listening right now.
She is.
Of course, yeah.
Of course. So, but yeah, so as far as stages the game goes, that's, there's a few of us that might be a whole different stage. I mean, Trax is in that boat too. His knowledge of this game is absolutely bonkers. So,
yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, what do we do for fun? Well, when you reach that stage, the answer is whatever the hell you want.
That's when you're winning the game.
Exactly. Does not matter.
Also, random note, I got one of the holo kits for the Caspian just now because I decided it looked nice. I got the red one because it has an orange hue in it when you put it on the gray and blue paint job that I'm running, and I kind of like that. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks freaking rad. Would recommend.
Well, I've been waiting outside the station here for the longest time to blow you up, and you're just not coming out of the station. It's so sad. I mean, to say hi, not
Wait,
blow
what?
you up. I've been outside
What?
the station waiting to say hi.
Me checking my oh my gosh, you are out there. That's hilarious. I've been in the freaking what's it called ship outfitting this whole time.
Yeah, I've been flying through all the grooves of this Coriolis with this Kestrel.
I'm gonna
It
try
can
with my
fit through
Caspian.
tiny stuff.
I think I'm going to build mine tonight. I mean, since Oblivious gave us, public holiday today from
Yeah,
Yeah,
all of
Caspian, like it's an explorer at its heart, but in reality, it is a great large multi-purpose ship.
Yeah,
Straight up.
absolutely. It is a multi-purpose ship, so 100%.
But all explorers kind of have to be, so that tracks.
And yeah, Oblivious wasn't here today because he went to watch. What did he? He went to watch La La Land or something, right?
Some
La La
Oscar-winning nonsense.
Tonight
I don't know.
isn't. I don't know, some Roger
La La Land.
Gosling movie.
Oh, he's going to see that Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one.
You missed my joke.
I want to see
All
that.
right.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
there's
I
some
mean,
work.
yeah,
Hello.
it sounds really good actually. It's kind of Interstellar without it being incredibly dry.
No,
That's what it feels like.
Interstellar was not dry. You take that back, you whore.
Okay, I'll take it back.
I haven't seen Interstellar, but have either of you seen Ad Astra?
How have you not
I've not.
seen Interstellar?
Okay. If you haven't seen Ad Astra, I would recommend, and I'll watch Interstellar. It just never made the
Christopher
time.
Nolan. I
Yeah,
don't
but it's a week
understand.
long.
That's true.
It's not. It's so good. My God, the whole docking scene where McConaughey and go watch it.
I don't know if I'm going to fit in those canals down there, Chig.
Which one? These
Any
ones?
of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you will either.
I'm going to try, but holy crap.
This one, I don't. I got in there. Yeah, I don't think you'll fit through that one.
I'm aiming for the corner. It's wider there.
Oh, I'm bonking into stuff. All right. Well, now that we're just blathering, anything else to cover before we call it a show?
This was a mistake. Oh no. Okay, I got out of it.
I think all the blathering has been covered. I mean, I just think the wrap up is all that we've got left.
You should really try some FA off doing this. It would probably help you.
Probably.
Now, what ship do you recommend he starts his FA off? Just the ship he's in, or
Any
is there like
any ship, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Oh wow,
good.
that red looks really cool when it's not facing the sun. I like that.
Yeah, no, FA off is just, there's different ways of doing it. Trex did it, just pulling the Band-Aid off. I did it just where I've mentioned this before. I just decided I would never land or take off from a station with FA on because it's a non, it's not a pressing situation. There's no combat going on. Nobody's chasing you, and you can just, get yourself through the mail slot, get yourself on a pad, FA off. It's very frustrating when you first start, but that's how I started, is just said, okay, I'm never going to land or take off with FA on. So I did that for a while, and then soon you start getting comfortable with it. Then it expands out a little bit farther, and then next thing you know, you're boosting through the rings and CQC FA off, and you're flying around all the nooks and crannies of a station FA off, and every combat you do is FA off. And soon, if you accidentally have FA on, you're like, why is my ship flying like crap? And then it's like, oh, FA's on accident. How'd that happen? So
it's not that I can't fly FA off. I can. I'm doing it right now. It's that I don't like to because it makes it like a job, and I just want to fly my spaceship.
It doesn't really make it like a job. You actually do less FA on or FA off than FA on. You just let the ship.
I'm
do
having
its
trouble
thing.
catching the station though. The Caspian is many things, but fast is not one of them. There we go. Now it's going. Yeah, anyways. So yeah, I should fly FA off more. I do fly FA off in PvP. Just because straight up, it's the easiest way to fight other players, I found, because usually they're FA off too.
Yeah.
And but like just for running missions or whatever, it's just I just can't be arsed, you know?
All right.
I mean, it seems to me like it's one of those things where I mean, I'm still an FA on person because I'm not a vegan, but
Not in the
but I
CrossFit.
just haven't. Yeah, no, I just haven't ripped that Band-Aid off, and I mean, it's probably on my to-do list at some point. I mean, probably if I ever get a HOTAS, I'll probably definitely do it. But yeah, I mean, it's like if you're doing FA off for combat, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't be doing it because it's like the time where someone else might murder me. If I could do FA off then, I would probably want to do it all the time.
100%.
Yeah.
It's just, it's actually lazier. It's small movements and you're just relaxed. You don't, so a lot of times you're not even giving an input.
FA off right in.
And, oh,
this is going to go bad. Backing up.
All right, guys, I will end the podcast.
I think so.
We'll keep jibber jabbering because we're with our space friends. And good show, good try. Thanks everybody.
Good game. Good game.
How do I turn this guy off? Hit this button.
Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Love you.